All right, so in today's video, I want to kind of get a little personal and talk about my personal experience with the last topic, the video that I made about masculine and feminine energy, because this topic holds a place in my heart because I feel like it really helped me grow and become the person that I am today when I started researching and understanding all of it. Let's jump into why this topic is close to me, how it changed my life, and just my personal perspective. And just remember, that's what it is, my story, my perspective, and just take whatever resonates with you. If none of it does, then just sit back, be curious, and enjoy the story. If you do feel connected to this topic and you feel like it would be helpful in your relationships or your personal health, like your mental health and overall well-being, then dive a little deeper and see what you find. Let's get into it. I'm Davia, and here we focus on a healthy mind, body, and spirit. So if that's something that you're interested in, click the subscribe button, the like button, and the bell for notifications every time I post a video. Okay, so before we get started, let me give you some backstory just so I can connect the title because it's not clickbait. So years ago, many years ago, I got married. At the time, it seemed super normal. I know now, societal norms have made it very normal and casual to get married in your early 20s, and that works really great for some people. But I did learn a lot of life lessons in retrospect. So after it didn't work out, and I went through a dark time really trying to understand why I wasted all this time and why this happened to me. And as you know, if you've watched my previous videos, nothing happens to you, it happens for you. You take these challenges and these experiences and you learn and grow from them to become an even better version of yourself. And we continuously go through these challenges so that we can continue to grow and just become our absolute best selves. So I am super grateful that I had this experience, even though at the time when going through the divorce, it didn't feel like something to be grateful for. But now I can't imagine my story going any other way. So I'm gonna start this story way back in time because that's how every great story starts, with like the origin, I guess. So when I was a kid, my parents really taught me the benefit of hard work and how to really work hard for money. And the way they did this was by teaching me skills, I guess you could say, like mowing the lawn at a very young age. I don't remember how young. I feel like I was like 7 when I mowed the lawn for the first time. And I got like $10 for it. And I was like, wow, you mean I can do this and make money? It's different from chores because, of course, I had to do the dishes and clean up the house and stuff like that, like most children. But things like mowing the lawn, raking the leaves, shoveling the snow are not normal chores. That's a little extra work, I guess, is what I was taught, because I got paid to do those things. And I also had a choice to do those things. So they would ask if I wanted to. There were times when I was forced to help, like if my dad was out there and he would tell us to come out and help do it. But if I wanted to just do it, I guess because it was technically his chore, so he would pay me to do it for him, is how I'm processing it right now. Like, that makes sense. So this really did teach me to work hard for money. And I took that and ran with it because I started working when I was 15. I got my first job, and I've always been a really hard worker. And that's how I That's how I believe the start of me leaning into my masculine energy started. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing because it did make me, like I said, a hard worker, very business savvy. I started my own business when I was like 10, 11, 12 with the snowing, with the shoveling snow and raking leaves. I would have some other kids in the neighborhood help me out, and then I would give them a couple bucks for helping. I would go knocking on the doors, asking people if they would like my services. So leaning into my masculine energy at a young age was not a bad thing. It did teach me to be the businesswoman that I am today, and that I feel like I am growing into being in my future. So this isn't bad. This is just my origin. Along with that, my mom, she has a very strong personality, and she's more outspoken of my two parents. So I think that as a child, looking up to your parents, especially your mother, being a girl, you kind of follow their lead. So with my mom being very outspoken and being the one who would tell us, yes, we can go to our friend's house. No, you didn't clean your room. She's the one who would kind of give us the commands. My dad, he worked hard, paid the bills, came home, chill. He doesn't feel like telling us what to do, things like that. This is my perspective as a child. So we ask mom for everything because she's the one who is gonna say yes or no to things. Dad is more like, leave me alone. Don't bother me with that. Go clean your room. So I feel like my mom, she has a lot, she leans a lot into her masculine energy as well in order to really like run things with the children and stuff, me and my sister. That visualization, like I viewed her that way as the one who was like running the household. So this also taught me to run the household or to be that person. Like that's how I'm supposed to be as well, because that's what I know. So the combination of my mom, her powerful dynamic in our family, and also me working hard at a young age, I feel like that is how I started really leaning into my masculine energy. This is all fine and dandy until my first serious relationship. When I met my soon-to-be husband, our relationship was very great. We were like best friends. Everything was cool. And then we got married. And that's when things, at least I started to notice, things were not as peachy as I thought they were. And it has nothing to do with who he is or who I am. We are our own people. And I do believe that if you know, this is not anything against anybody, but I believe if you know certain information, you can honestly make any relationship work. I think it takes a lot of hard work, a lot of research, maybe even some help, like with a relationship counseling and stuff. Things that I did not know or utilize at this age. Pretty much in the relationship, I was the more masculine energy in the relationship. And that was because of a few things. I believe now, looking in retrospect. I believe that I was more in my masculine energy than my husband because I made more money. I paid the bills. I worked longer hours. And I believe that started to kind of push me into taking the lead on things because I also had the stronger personality and the louder voice. So what that would look like is I'm working all day. I'm bringing in majority of the money and paying the bills. So what I say has precedence, essentially. And that's not healthy in a relationship. But what also happens is that if your dynamic in a male and female relationship is the woman, how do I say this? I am a feminine woman. Okay? Not all women are naturally feminine, and that's fine. I am naturally feminine. So, being put in my masculine energy is not a place for me to stay. It's a place for me to go to and to pull from when I need it, like to protect myself or for business decisions or for making any important decisions on the spot, because that is, if you watched my last video, that is the kind of reasons why you would tap into your masculine energy. There needs to be polarity in the relationship. So what is ideal for me is to be with a masculine man. And all men also have feminine and masculine energy. It just depends which side they lean into more. So if a man leans more into his feminine energy, he's more of a nurturer. He's more, more of a caregiving type of person rather than the decision making go getter, like one who's providing and all of that. That's fine. He, that what that might look like is all of the stay-at-home dads, which are amazing, but that doesn't work for everybody. So there needs to be polarity in the relationship somehow, and it doesn't have to look like who makes the most money. There are different ways where there's going to be polarity in the relationship, and when there isn't is when you lose attraction. So with my ex-husband being a little bit more into his feminine energy and kind of leaning back and letting me take charge, mostly because he wanted to make me happy, and it appeared that me taking charge is what made me happy because it's what I naturally was doing. Little did either of us know, it did not make me happy to be the one taking the reins and being in my masculine energy like that. His pleasing me, essentially being a people pleaser, put him in his feminine energy and push me deeper into my masculine energy. But I was already in my masculine energy, which naturally would push him further into his feminine energy. If I'm paying the bills and running the show, why would he feel like he needs to be doing it? It's already being done. The position is already taken. Therefore, I can relax and go play my video games and mind my business because everything's already getting done. So therefore, I was enabling his behavior. So we both were causing each other to be in the wrong energy, and therefore it killed the attraction. Understanding this now was very helpful in my next relationship, which also had some problems and started teeter-tottering because of the same thing. Although I had done research and tried to understand what went wrong in my marriage, I didn't quite understand this concept just yet. So some more time goes by. I'm in this new relationship and everything seems great. But we're running into some of the similar challenges where I'm still the provider because I'm making majority of the money, which means I'm also paying majority of the bills, and therefore feeling slightly entitled. This is a challenge now because I am with someone who is naturally a male in his masculine energy. So that doesn't fly. He's not gonna just sit back and relax and let me do these things and let me be in my masculine energy like my ex-husband did. Instead, what it did was still kill the attraction because of the polarity, but also caused him to resent me a little bit because I'm doing the job that he feels he should be doing. So what that looked like instead was more arguing, more butting heads, more disagreeing, and more communication, honestly. So that is why we were able to work through it, because there was more communication. Also, we were older and had a little bit more life experience. So it was a little easier to identify the problem and to talk through it. Now, when things come up where I might be tapping into my masculine energy for some reason, maybe it's something with work, or maybe somebody really irritated me and it causes me to really go into my masculine energy for whatever reason, then he can identify it, and because he feels uncomfortable, and he can let me know, like, hey, the way that you are talking to me is a little too aggressive. I need you to bring it down a couple of notches, please. But I understand why you're upset. I understand that you are going through something with work or whatever it is. So it's like the balance, because that's what we are all aiming towards, is balance. He can tap into his feminine energy with the compassion and the understanding and the nurturing. I understand where you're coming from. Let me know if you need anything. But also in his masculine, by being able to take that charge and say, but right now you're a little too aggressive. Need you to bring it down. I'm not going to allow you to talk to me this way because you are upset about something that I did not do. So that boundary setting is very healthy. This is what balance looks like, especially for a male. For a female, what balance would look like. So where I am right now, I feel like I'm balanced in my masculine and my feminine energy. In my feminine, most of the time, I can sit back, relax, and flow, and allow my partner to take charge, get things done, and I trust that he is capable of doing these things. Now, of course, every once in a while, I do want to kind of micromanage and, hey, why would you put the dishes in the dishwasher like this? I'm sure we've all kind of done that a little bit. But instead, I've changed the way I say things to still be in my feminine energy, to kind of come off more curious. It usually is a little more softer. Instead of like, why would you do this? It's more like, hey, was there a specific reason that you put this in here like this? This has been a game changer for me in my relationship. In my past relationship, in my marriage, it was more, why would you do this? This doesn't make any sense. Do you not know how to do the dishes? And that is very disrespectful. I understand now. But at the time, it was just how I spoke, I think, because me being in my masculine energy was so uncomfortable. It was hard for me to regulate my emotions and how I would express myself. So now I can express myself in a way that is more beneficial to the relationship. Understanding and balancing my masculine and feminine energy, or again, my yin and yang for people who really don't like the term masculine and feminine, because it does seem like gender stereotyped, but it's not. It's everyone has both, and some women are more masculine, some men are more feminine naturally, but a feminine man and a feminine woman will have a harder time finding polarity in their relationship and finding balance, because we need balance. So it is more balanced if one partner is more in their feminine and one partner is more in their masculine. But what is best is when both have balance and know when to tap into both energies. And this is the overall goal, is to find balance in ourselves. I hope that this story encourages you to really look at yourself and your relationships and the way you live your life, and ask yourself if you're balanced. How do you feel? When I was operating mostly in my masculine energy, a lot of times I felt really uncomfortable. And what that would look like for me was just being a little depressed and unhappy. Like I said, not being attracted to my partner. And it doesn't have anything to do with physical looks. It's just, I don't want to be around you. It also, for me, was feeling like I always had to be doing something. Like I could not sit still. I had to be making money or going to the gym, like bettering myself. And when I wasn't, then I was sitting on the couch trying to watch a movie, wondering what I'm supposed to be doing. What am I supposed to be doing right now? Because this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was just always trying to fill a void that I didn't understand. That void was my feminine energy, and the way to get there is to actually sit back and relax, get into my body, build that relationship with myself. That could be meditating. I could have done yoga or something to connect with my body and to connect with myself. Being more in a flow state instead of trying to manipulate everything to go the way that I planned it out in my head. I planned my schedule. I planned my money. Everything was just very like to the T. That can be beneficial, but for me, it wasn't. It was very stressful. So now I don't do those things. My life is very different now. I think a lot to do with it is pretty much the life that I've manifested for myself. Because before moving to California, I knew that I did not want a 9-to-5 job. I did not want to sit in an office. I did not want to do hair anymore because that really had me on my masculine energy. What I decided was I wanted a job where I can work from home, and I want to have more free time to do things like meditate and read and maybe do yoga. But I did do yoga for a little while, but I ended up finding love for martial arts instead, to connect with my body and my mind. It does both, okay? Martial arts is the best. But I don't wake up to an alarm. I wake up whenever my body decides to wake up. I spend at the very least 30 minutes outside every day. I made sure that I had a balcony so that I could be outside and either sit out there, meditate, read, have a meal, whatever I need to do outside, outdoors, because being in nature is something that the feminine energy needs to be nurtured, spending time in nature. So that's what I decided to do. This is all after researching this topic and researching ways that I could be more in my feminine energy and tap more into that. Learning to tap into my feminine energy also helped me stop mothering my man, because I'm not his mother, and I didn't realize that I was mothering him until researching this topic. I have two favorite YouTube ladies that I watched that really helped me understand a lot of this on a deeper level. Everything that I'm talking about is on a very high level, very broad, and that is because I feel like this topic can be slightly controversial, and maybe it's just my own personal fear of being controversial and making some people unhappy, which is that leftover people pleaser deep inside me that I'm working on healing. It is something that I want to talk about, so I decided to do it. And even though I'm talking about this on a high level, this is baby steps for me. So if you are interested in this topic and you want to understand more, then please let me know so I can keep doing these types of videos on this topic of masculine and feminine energy, even the light and dark aspects of both energies. Let me know if this interests you. But in the meantime, I will continue to talk about all things mindfulness, all things to have a healthy mind, body, and spirit, because that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about overall health, not health in, the sense of let's eat our fruits and veggies, but how can we be healthy mentally and physically and spiritually and connect it all, because it is all connected. Usually when you start to do one, the other branches, they do connect. So when you do start to exercise and eat healthy because you want a healthy body, you do usually find a little bit of connection to your mental, because it takes a certain mentality to be disciplined in the gym and to eat healthy. So then finding that mentality to be able to overcome those challenges of when you don't want to do it, then that starts to connect you spiritually. When you create a healthy mentality, you start to connect to your body spiritually, because you learn that everything that you think manifests in life. If you tell yourself you can do something, you can do it. And that nurtures your spirit. So it's all tied together, but we don't always know how to do that. And it's just my life's mission to learn every day and to share the information that I'm learning here. So this is my story. Again, take it with a grain of salt, and I don't need any negativity in the comments, because like I said, this is a baby step for me. And if you liked it, let me know. If not, that's fine. Hope you enjoyed my story. So until next time, bye.